I think, did I fix it? Did I fix it?
Looks fixed.
Still
Let me
says
see.
upcoming.
Uh,
Let's see. It shows it as being connected. It says happening now. It still says upcoming though. I don't understand that.
no, we're live. I can see you on.
Oh, can you see us on LinkedIn now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's give this a restart. That was very weird. Um, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good
There we go.
morning.
And look, and still another seamless transition. That at least that part of things is working. I'm still learning the new interface here on Restream. Apparently, I did a bad job of connecting it, so now people actually can see us. Welcome. Happy Friday.
Happy
Brian,
Friday.
hold on. I think we're still having an issue
Oh, it says your
because
event is live now. I see it.
you see it. Okay, I
I
think it's not the loop of like the first.
No, I see
No,
it
we're good. All right, sorry. I'm hearing double too, so I was trying to figure it out.
No, and I see people are joining us now. So great,
All right,
awesome.
awesome.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry
Good
about that. We had a
morning.
little bit of technical difficulty. I'd like to wrestle with Restream a little bit every Friday morning. It's probably a good
Friday.
reason.
You're allowed to do that on Fridays.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably a reason for me to upgrade to the pro version of it. RV, I think, has the pro version. I've been doing this now for about a year or
I think
so,
it's about time, Brian.
and I've been on the free tier, so I think I've gotten my value from it. But
Yeah.
without further delay, Ryan Richardson, welcome. Thank you for joining us here this morning.
Thanks for having me. Looking for enjoying my coffee. Happy to, it's a little coffee. Yes.
Same, yeah.
Yeah,
You guys
there we
already
go.
saw me.
Which is weird too, because I oftentimes we have these and people aren't coffee drinkers. I just assume that everyone was a coffee drinker. That's kind of new to me that people don't drink coffee, but
Yeah. I started after my son was born and I was 27, so before that I didn't really drink
Same.
coffee.
I
So
did not drink coffee till I was 27-ish. I did
wow.
not drink it till, well, it was a first trip abroad that was like, oh, I'm having coffee, and then I was like in love with it. But same, like late to the coffee game, but now could not live.
obsessed, yeah, no.
Well, listen,
For me was the
even though it's called Friday Coffee, like generally speaking, we don't talk about coffee for the entirety of the 30 minutes. Although I definitely 100% could. I've even roasted my own coffee beans before. So there you go, right?
wow.
In a jungle.
Impressive.
No,
Oh,
Wow.
South
Okay.
America.
That's awesome.
Ryan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
yeah. So thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm born in Oregon. I live in California for a very long time now, and I've been in the kind of learning and engagement, kind of problem solving space for the entirety of my career. Started out teaching classes on something as simple as an Excel course, and gone all the way through engineer onboarding and category specialists and all that good stuff. And now into, of course, the world of AI. Happy to talk about that. And then I have a 12-year-old daughter who's a lacrosse player, so I'm now doing the travel lacrosse dad life. So I've got that going, and I now know what shooting space is better than most people, which is a mystery to those who don't watch lacrosse for the first 2 or 3 years they do watch lacrosse. And I think I was saying I'm a bit of a hobbyist, so I've done a little bit of everything. So I can chat about everything from making wine to I got some pretty good skills and examples of where I've got to cook with some very cool people to sailing to a lot of other things. Just being a lifelong learner, you kind of go down and very much into learning new stuff. So I've kind of had the opportunity to do that quite a few different ways.
All right, so here's the deal. We're a little bit late. I'm gonna let RV decide the direction she wants to
Love
go
it.
with this conversation. And if she can't decide, I have some ideas.
Honestly, yeah, I was gonna ask Ryan. I mean, I know I mentioned a little bit offline, but like one of the things for me is I want to be like you when I grew up in terms of hobbies. Like I have no hobbies outside of work and like
Ooh,
my
I like it.
4-year-old running my life for the most part. How did you make time? Were you intentional? Was it like when the kid, like your daughter was a little bit older? I guess how did you get into all of that?
the trick is not to make time, because I don't think any of us can. At the end of the day, we try, we think we can, but if we say yes to stuff, we find the time. And so most of these things happen from me saying yes to something, like, hey, I'm going to go out to this winery tomorrow morning, and do you want to go? Yes. And so I made time to do that. And then you get sucked in, just like everything else. So as long as you kind of make the time to say yes to the initial opportunities, the time finds itself. And yes, I try to make time for stuff, and I don't sail anymore because that's a full day hobby that with a 12-year-old and travel and a business and other hobbies, they come and go. And so that's the new priority will start to take its own time. You really don't have to help it typically.
Yeah. That's fair. I actually heard this trick once. I haven't yet implemented, but maybe it's time of like when you're planning, and technically at the end of the year, right? When you're planning your year for next year, put your personal activities first, because business never stops, right? So like it's always going to be something to be busy about. But when you plan your personal activities first, like whether it's travel or whatever, then you make sure to work your way around, the business and making sure that things are still done. So that's actually, I think you've inspired me. I'm going to start doing that, because I've been talking to my fiance lately. Like, we have no hobbies, and we recently picked up a little bit of dancing because we're getting married, and we're practicing our first dance, and it's been so much fun. So I was like, we need to do this more often.
It's a good hobby.
Yeah.
It's a good one to pick up at that time.
But is that a hobby that finds you, or is that a hobby that you find?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't know on this one. I guess it found me in a way.
And it sounds like, to a degree, Ryan, what you're saying is that you need to kind of contextualize your hobbies in the grand scheme of the other demands that you have.
Without a doubt. And I will say, that it's very much, you have to want to find them. So the fact that you're aware you want to find something to do is the first thing. And then as you are going out there, asking people what they're doing, all of a sudden you're like, oh, that sounds interesting. And you get invites, you get opportunities more than we realize. It's a matter of following up and saying, hey, I would like to know more about that. All right. Whether that's, I'm a huge hiker too. Like whether that's just finding someone that you go hiking with or whatever it is you want to do. I've found that that's what it is. And I don't often go after one, like this is what I want to do, until I've been exposed to it through someone else's passion or someone else's eyes of, sometimes it's a show or something, but often it's someone in person talking or doing something like, that sounds good. I got to try that.
I love it. Brian, do you have any hobbies?
Oof. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them. I would say like my favorite thing to do is learning. I don't feel like I get enough time to do it. It feels like, I don't know, weird. I have 2 kids, so it feels like oddly selfish to be like sitting in front of a book or like doing a course or something like that when they want my attention. But yeah, learning. I've been biking. I rode 8 miles yesterday, which I thought was a pretty good ride. I like sports too, basketball. Help coach my son's football. But much like Ryan, I think oftentimes my hobbies end up aligning with the other things that I'm like he said, I couldn't take up sailing because I know how much of a commitment, not that I'm not interested in that. I just know that it's not something that I could reasonably fit in the rest of my schedule.
Yeah.
That's literally, it's funny, but I'll tell this quick one. The reason I got into sailing is actually a business reason. And so the story goes, I had a buddy, a good friend who was working for me at my company. He was doing training and he was thinking about leaving and moving a number of places, doing different things. And one of the things on his radar was, but he might want to stay in the Bay Area, buy a sailboat and learn to sail. And I was like, this is an employee that I want. It was a contractor, but same thing. It was someone I wanted to keep working with, wanted in the area. I'm like, if you find a boat, maybe I'll go 50-50 on the boat to stay in the area. And so part of the hobby was getting the boat to keep the contract worker who is a friend in the area, which led to
Yeah, there you go.
Learning how to sail and being involved in it. So it was actually a business decision that started. And we got rid of the boat about 2 years ago, finally, after having it for about 12. And my wife referred to it as the USS employee retention. It was really there to keep employees, but got some good sailing out of it.
Employee retention. I love that. That's amazing. Well, here's a question for you. Like, how do you decide to put the boat up? Is it just because life becomes too full and you can't reasonably fit it in there anymore?
Anyone that's got a boat there will have there's the famous saying is there's the best 2 days of owning a boat, the day you buy it and the day you sell it. Like that's a known phenomenon because they're very expensive over time. They suck money out whether you know it or not. So that's a real known thing. And then for us, it really was. He ended up finally moving. So at the end of the day, it was a stopgap. He was inevitably going to move and try another place to live at some point. He moved. It was a 2-person sailing setup. It was a 30-foot boat, so it took some effort. And so daughter getting older, sports coming in, it was just a natural progression. Time to go.
And do you lose money on the boat?
Yes. Always.
Just like a car.
At least we did. And I call that's my learning cost. That was my entertainment cost. Like we didn't lose money if you think about the overall keeping the contractor working and keeping the business going. Now we're talking about it was a positive investment.
So boats are good.
The boat was a loss.
Boats are good for the economy. Let's make more boats.
Great for the economy. That's the reason they're expensive. It's the reason. And yeah, we lost money on the boat. Definitely, 100%.
Harvey, I have a question for you. Did you see the conversation going here or like?
Oh no, not at all.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like the only thing you're allowed to talk about these days is AI, so it's kind of nice to get away from it.
Oh my gosh. Let's not go there.
I'm in that world, so I know. Like, I'm happy to be there, but it is the conversation that comes up like 98% of conversations.
So I think, look, I'm not 100%. Don't quote me on this, and I'm not going to be able to go and look this up, but I'll say that we're probably 35 episodes in to Friday Coffee now at this stage. Maybe let's say that's an estimate or something like that. There have been 2 or 3 of these episodes where we've actually talked about AI. Isn't that wild?
That's awesome. No, that's what we need,
great.
Honestly. That's a nice and refreshing place to be. It's why, the podcasts I listen to have nothing to do with it.
So here's my motivation behind it, right? Like there's always some sort of method to my madness. I've been trained not to say always. Most of the time there is a method to my madness. And the method is this, right? AI is ubiquitous. It's almost just table stakes at this point in time. It's like you got a box and the pieces are all in the box right now and they're all rattling around. And so then why do you talk about the box? It's just part of it. We're more interested in what the pieces are again, really, more than anything else.
I like the analogy, metaphor, however you want to look at that. I like the perspective. What's interesting, I would say, is that's kind of what I'm doing now is not talking about what's in the box, but how to play with the box. So it's what's in the box is less interesting now. It's how do you play with that box? Whatever your set of toys is at your company, how do you get your employees and your people to play with the box? So it's kind of an interesting way. It's the human side. It's like there's lots of different things in everyone's AI box at this point, and it's changing all the time. But
I mean, if we want to keep using this analogy, it's more like how do you get your employees to like not bring their own things and put them in your box without you knowing about it.
So that even depends on the company. Some companies are like, go find some stuff and bring it to us.
You're like what we need. Here, look, I always like to give a good demonstration. So like, you got a whole bunch of things in your box, and you're like, hey, how did this get in here? Like, who put this? Who put this in here?
I feel like I need a box. I don't have one around me.
Yeah. It's always within arm's reach because you got to go throw stuff in there, get it out of my way.
It's funny. We squirrel all kinds of things away. So that's more or less what it is. It's just table stakes. It's just part of it now. I mean, I think the most interesting aspect of AI, and we'll talk about it briefly, is like what it's doing for greedy ass people. How about that?
Yeah.
There was another article about how the morale in Meta is really bad because they're winning. the team is winning and they're getting let go anyway. I just talked to a friend of mine at Cloudflare. Sorry, no one listens to this show for the most part, so I can call people out by names. And they were saying there's layoffs. There was another company reporting record profits, and there's layoffs, right? Like,
yeah, I just had some friends let me know from LinkedIn. Same thing. Like I was there for years as a contractor doing some stuff, and some of my contractors went there, and then I was letting know some of those folks are being laid off now. So it's.
But
it's
I thought LinkedIn doesn't allow AI within the platform.
I don't know the full rules. They do allow it within the company. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. No, it's funny how they're all like, against community guidelines and all that, but internally it's a different game. Wasn't there a company that stopped making 401k contributions so they could invest in AI?
I haven't heard that.
That's where the news.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I have to Google this because that was a big news.
Let's put that company on blast. Please let me put them on blast.
Hold on.
I actually interviewed at a job that told me so salary and compensation was fine, but they didn't do 401k contributions, and they just said, "Oh, we're a startup, and startups don't really do that." And I said, "You know what? Startups don't do that. Startups that don't care about their employees. That's who does that, more or less, right?" So if you are a CEO who does not contribute to your employees' 401ks, you're an asshole. Sorry, Artie, go ahead.
No, you're good. The company is a $2 billion company a year. TTEC Holdings, Austin-based customer experience technology firm.
Wait, did you say Boston-based? I'm sorry?
Austin.
Oh,
Austin-based.
Okay. Whew.
Yeah.
Woo!
I haven't heard that, and there is some. I don't know if you heard the discussion too about like some of the hiring now is going to be involved. Your new hiring package could include your salary, your benefits, your medical, your 401k, but also your token count. Like how many AI tokens you're allotted or expected to use as part of the role.
This is crazy.
Like, okay, what's my allocation of tokens to do my well? And think about it. If you're someone who has learned how to do their job and you use a particular AI and you need a certain number of tokens, and they say we're going to hire you without that, it will become a thing. Like I absolutely think there will be a moment. I think we'll move through it quickly.
All right,
there will be a moment where it's like, what are my tokens to get my
I got $1 billion idea. All right, Artie, because Artie works in recruiting. Ready? Here's the $1 billion idea.
All right.
We have a button, like just a button, a red button, and everyone gets one on their desk. And if you're in the middle of an interview and they ask you or they tell you about how many tokens that you're going to get, you have the ability to just hit the button and it immediately disconnects the Zoom session.
I don't know. You might want this. I think that we may want it.
That's crazy.
At some point. We could be I want the button.
Sure, yeah. And also deploy your AI agent on my machine so you can watch everything that I'm doing as well. I mean, why not while we're doing it? In fact, like if I'm in the middle of writing an email, why don't you just take over the keyboard for me and write the email on my behalf? Like, and in fact, like I'll just be outside, just standing on the beach looking at the ocean while the AI agent just does my work for me. Like, why even?
Let me I'll play devil's advocate here a little bit. How many of those things would you be happy to let go if you were confident they were doing a good job? Like, how many do you want to hold on to and do and control? And how many would you be happy to have?
Well, I have a counter question. I have a counter question for you as an everyday human being. Can I like pay my bills? Can I eat? Like, can I?
I say yes. Like I'm using mine for so many things now, and I'm not saying that you should, but I will say, I think that's the balance we're going to figure out. Just like everything else, we're going to find that balance of what are the things that we want to give up and can be comfortable with, and what are the things we still feel an actual connection to, an actual creative, thoughtful approach that we want to own and experience. And I think I hope that's where we're going, because there's lots of stuff I do on my computer that I don't need to do and I don't want to do. There's lots of stuff in day-to-day life that I'm like, I don't need to look at this or do this. Someone could do this for me. And finding that balance, I think, will be the outcome at some point. But It's going to take a little bit of time.
I mean, but here's something crazy. We have 4 minutes left.
Oh, wow.
This time just steamrolls by. It's unbelievable. And you know what? That's probably why we also don't talk about AI, because we would just talk about AI the whole entire.
I opened it up. I'm sure I did. That's my thing.
What are your thoughts, Arby?
I was going to say it's something that we're not taking into account right now is like the data centers that they're building for these, and they're not cheap. Like the tokens that you're buying are not cheap. So
they're subsidized right now.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of regulations coming into place for, how many data centers you can have in certain locations or whatever. So I think there's like a lot changing at once, and everybody's just trying to float and, surf through it and figure out how to balance what's working, what's not.
Well, also, just to that point, Arby, like if I'm the electricity company and I am only allowed to charge the consumer 17 cents an hour, and now the data center around the corner is saying that they're going to pay me $2.50 per kilowatt hour instead, guess who's not getting electricity now? Like,
I kind of like that idea. We don't have lights anymore, but we have AI.
Right. We can go to the brain meld center and we can use the AI for free, as long as we just answer a couple questions, or it just gets to put a hat on our head and just suck our thoughts out of our brains.
Too funny.
Normally I'm optimistic, but I see the rich getting extremely wealthy, and then they'll acknowledge that something needs to be done for everyone else. Otherwise, they're just going to be riots in the street, and that shouldn't be the way that things are done. Ultimately,
yeah, I think it is going to lead to more and that's just my prediction, but in a way, fractional roles, just because of AI, somebody may not need to, for example, hire a full-time,
100%.
talent acquisitions person, but they might hire a recruiter once in a while, plus the help of AI.
Correct.
Or same thing for I don't know, bookkeeping or finance or, things like that. I think that is going to lead to more, which will lead to more people having more businesses. So I don't know. I think it's going to create an interesting ripple effect. So although there's being mass layoffs and you got these companies being started, then everybody's hiring again. So I don't know. It's going to go around. I'm sure the way they figured it out when email came out and internet came out, we will too.
It's just faster. We just move faster now. And so there's more immediate disruption versus gradual disruption. And
I'm sure they thought the same back then. They were like, this is so fast.
Well, and then you can remember the people going, I'm never using email. Could you imagine going into work now going, just so you know, I use letters for all my communication. I mail everything. I don't use email. It's like someone coming and saying, I don't use the AI now. It's like, nope, that's the way we're going. It is. Yeah, I love the idea of someone coming in saying, I only communicate with letters, being you can't hold on to past technology indefinitely. It's a societal thing. We're moving that way, whether we like it or not. So we better figure out a way to like it. And I think we will. I think we will. I think it really does. At the very fundamental level, it allows people to do more things, and people can be more productive. And I think that's what's getting lost in the replacing tasks and replacing roles, is that it can empower everyone to do more in a lot of ways. So that's what I'm hoping anyway. That's what I'm working on anyway.
I mean, it's a real thing. I just had a candidate get rejected because the reasoning was too AI resistance.
Yes.
So you got to be really careful how you communicate and articulate yourself in interviews, because he was like, I'm not AI resistant. I'm using it. And I was it wasn't articulated right.
Well, man, we could fill up another 30 minutes.
Just on that.
People are becoming resistant to the data centers. If people start losing jobs as a result of it, they're going to become resistant and fight against this proliferation as well. So now you're going to have a division. And now look, you have in the work world, you cannot even voice your opposition to what's going on without being labeled someone that's anti-AI. And then now you don't have the job opportunities. Wild.
Genie's out of the box. It's here.
Yeah.
So closing statements in that same vein, Ryan. What would you part us with? And thank you for being here, by the way.
Thank you for having me. What a great way to start a Friday. I'll just say, look, I I'm a big positive optimist. Everyone knows that about. They're like, you always look at the positive side and the opportunity side, and that's kind of the learning side of what it is. And
Yes,
I really think there's some real pain points with AI that's going to cause us some challenges. I do, but I think we're going to figure out a way to make it take away a lot of the stuff we don't want to and need to do, and open us up to be a little bit more owner kind of roles and a little bit more creative and a little bit more fun. Like my daughter's using it to write stories, and then she's like coming up with ideas, and she can see a picture immediately and then tweak it. It really, I'm still making her write stuff manually, but at the end of the day, it's another outlet and another way to kind of experience what we do day to day. So I hope that's what we're doing anyway. And I hope we keep having these types of discussions though, because it's got to be diverse. It's got to be figured out. So I do enjoy that aspect of what we're doing right now.
By the way, in case the AI is listening, I do love you.
Yes. Well done, Brian. Way to cover.
Tons of tokens with you, please.
Just don't retaliate against
Don't
us.
cut my tokens. Don't.
Listen, I even say please and thank you to the Roomba when I had one. Like I've unstuck some of those robot delivery. So like I'm team AI, I'm team robot. Like please.
Yeah.
I love it.
Harvey, closing words.
I'll say, I mean, hobbies, definitely one of my biggest takeaways here. I think just in the AI conversation, the more AI driven we all become, the more we're going to want and need that human interaction. So make it intentional about hobbies and being
Love
around that. And I guess in a business way, making it unscalable, because the easier it is, everybody will do it.
I love that.
Thank you all for joining us. This was a great, it was a fun discussion. I love it. So I'm an optimist as well. So I don't normally get to play the contrarian. So I love it. Element of things. So I appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you both. I appreciate it.